As in Jamaat is done, Muzakara, where you read to someone, someone reads to you. And it's important for everyone to do this. Why? Because sometimes when you're driving, if I have to sit with this driving instructor now, he'll tell me, Maulana, you're crossing your hands when you are turning. You're not doing this, you're braking too late, you're changing. There's another driving instructor who's surrounded, MashaAllah. They say, you're not doing this, you're changing the gears too late. Do you know there's actually a second, third and fourth gear in your Micra? Sounds like that sometimes. So when we are reading Salah all the time, we've been reading for so many years, we tend to forget. And we tend to make mistakes, and we sort of become so used to the mistake that when a Mauli Sahib reads that, whatever you used to reading, I think, hey, Mauli Sahib is making a mistake. Someone actually said that to me the other day. They have to check the Quran, Maulana made a mistake, or might be making a mistake, and picked up that I have been making a mistake. Yeah? So it's very important, read to someone, let someone read to you. When you read Salah, and maybe inshallah we'll do this soon, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, at one point he had like a raised platform in the masjid, and he did what you would understand maybe as a Jummah bayan, was how to practically perform Salah. You do it today and say, what's wrong with this Mauli Sahib? He thinks he doesn't, we don't know how to read Salah. But the Sahaba who Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam spoke so highly of, that you follow any of them, you'll be rightly guided. What did Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam do? He taught them how to read Salah. Practical demonstrations. That's why it's very, very important to do this. So the people of Jannah, they will say to the people, they'll call out to the people of Jahannam, hey, what's happening? وَنَادَى أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ أَصْحَابَ الْجَنَّةِ أَنْ قَدْ وَجَدْنَا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever He had promised you, وَعَدَنَا رَبُّنَا حَقًّا, has it come out truth? The people of Jahannam will be asking, people of Jannah will be asking people of Jannah, hey, what happened? Is that how it is? Yeah. And then the people of Jahannam will reply, وَنَادَى أَصْحَابُ النَّارِ أَصْحَابَ الْجَنَّةِ أَنَا فِيدُ عَلَيْنَا مِنَ الْمَاءِ. Just throw a little bit of water, whatever Allah has given you. We're suffering here. The suffering is real. In the dunya we thought, nah, it's alright man, doesn't matter. Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. Allah will forgive us. And there's so many of our brothers and sisters that are living in this notion and this perception that, Allah will just forgive. Allah can forgive. But in the next surah, there's a story which is very, very important. Yeah. It's actually not in the next surah, in the 10th para, which will be recited tonight. As a matter of fact, not even in the 10th, it's in the 11th juz, which will be recited tomorrow night, inshallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَعْتَذِرُونَ إِلَيْكُمْ إِذَا رَجَعْتُمْ إِلَيْهِمْ قُلْ لَا تَعْتَذِرُوا لَن نُؤْمِنَ لَكُمْ. Allah ta'ala speaks about people who make excuses. Yeah, when the battle of Tabuk took place, when that took place, everyone was commanded to go. All the Muslims were commanded that you need to go out into the battlefield, except those who had valid excuses. There were 3 Sahaba that stayed behind. And these 3 Sahaba that stayed behind, they stayed behind what they felt. Their level of Iman and our level of Iman was different. But out of they thought, right, you know what, they're going, there's enough people there, they're going to win the battle anyway. What they need 3 of us for? But they didn't even 3 collectively decide. It was 3 individual decisions. It was only afterwards it came to be known that it was 3 people. It's like that story where the minister of the area said, tonight I want all of you to come and throw a glass of milk into this pond. So tomorrow we have a pond full of milk. And each person thought, I'll throw a glass of water in one whole load of milk. Who's going to notice? Everyone thought the same thing. The next morning there was a pond of water. So these 3 Sahaba, now they realize, we got left behind. Sahaba, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, come back. Where were you? Why didn't you come? Then eventually established that, we were just feeling a bit, we thought, hey, you guys will manage without us. You don't need us. Sometimes people become humble at the wrong time. Sometimes people become humble at the wrong time. Khair, another story is mentioned regarding a man who came to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam and made a dua that you and me and probably every other Muslim, if not everyone, maybe most Muslims have been making dua for, especially at the time of iftar, because we know dua is accepted. And what's that one dua we all could be making? Everyone can't be making dua to get married. Because there are some that are not married, there are that want to get married, but there are some that are married, they're too scared, their wife might hear them at home, that they're making dua to get married again. Even I've been warned. Not by my wife, by other people's wives. Maulana, be careful when you make dua. Second wife, third wife, fourth wife. My husband can only have one wife. But we make dua for what? Money, wealth, property, car, house, possessions, phone, gadget, you name it, something or the other you're asking and you're making dua for. So this Sahabi comes to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam and says, saying, can you put on the light there please, for the bathroom, in the black box, it says female toilet. So he says, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, can you make dua for me that Allah Ta'ala gives me barakah in my business? Now Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam wasn't just anybody. He was after all the messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Allah Ta'ala used to inform him of certain things that wouldn't just be normal and common knowledge. And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam said to him that, listen here, I'm not going to make this dua for you that you get more wealth. He's saying, make dua, get increase in my business. And sometimes we also make dua. We go to the Sheikh Sahab or Hazrat or Mali Sahab, say, Hazrat, make special dua for me, get barakat in my business, then I can give more to your masjid. Like we need you to have barakat in your business for Allah's house to get. Subhanallah. People should just give anyway. It's like paying as I said the other day, your masjid of your locality is your responsibility. I don't come to your house, you don't come to my house and say, bye, we're here for Gash, Jamaat is here, but just remind you, make sure you pay your gas and electric. No one does that. You don't tell your neighbor to do that, because you know you got to do that. Similarly, you got to take care of your local masjid. It's your responsibility. So this Sahabi says, no, I'll spend lots in the path of Allah Ta'ala, just give me, make that dua for me. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, you know what, I'm warning you, it's not a good thing for you. This is not a good idea for you to have this. The Sahabi said, oh Ya Rasulullah, please, just trust me, I'll do it. This is a Sahabi we're talking about. We're not Sahaba, we're far off from that. And Allah Ta'ala grant us at least 1% of the strength they had in their iman. But there were those Sahabi and Sahabiyat that were also weak in iman. So we want the strength of those powerful Sahaba, inshallah. Khair, reluctantly Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam makes dua for this Sahabi. It is mentioned in the books of Ahadith that this dua was made by Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and either immediately or that very same day or extremely close to the time of dua of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam for the Sahabi, it became like, sometimes worms just start coming out of one place. Or if there's a bee's nest and it looks like there's just one or two bees going in and out, but you interfere with that thing and you see thousands coming out like that, his business just flourished. Instant. It's instant flourishing of business. Something you can't, like someone opened up the floodgates of business for him. Wealth increased just like that. Business, his livestock and everything increased to the extent, what happens when a business gets bigger and bigger? They need a bigger premises. Madinah Munawwara was small at that time. He then found a bigger business premises away from Masjid Nabawi sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam and Medina Munawwara. So he's out of Medina Munawwara. Salah, he's still on his 5 salah. But as time is going, his salah is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing. 5. Now he's a busy man. The busy man. Even in your family, if there's someone that's a very, very busy businessman, then you need to make special appointment to go and see them. Because they're not always available. So sad that we live in this day and age where money is more important to you than your family and your relations. So khair, eventually he left his salah. Sahabi are we talking about? I'm not talking about Amr Bakr and Zaidi. I'm talking about a sahabi who was in the presence of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We make this dua, sometimes. I wish I was there. I wish I could see Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I wish I could be present in the time. I wish I was a sahabi. Allah save us. There were hypocrites, known hypocrites. Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul. Everyone knew he was a hypocrite, but he would still come for salah. Today, we as lovers of Allah and lovers of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we don't know what the masjid is out of Ramadan. What has become the ummah's condition, that the masjid has to be big just to cater for the musallis on the first night of Ramadan, on day of Eid, and a couple of Jummas here and there. So this Sahabi now is moving further and further and further away from Deen. All this time, while Allah Ta'ala had given him this wealth, the verses of zakat were not revealed. It wasn't necessary to give zakat at that time. After some time of this man having these businesses, the verses, ayat of zakat came, and this Sahabi, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam still loved them. He didn't say, oh, you went bad on us and you didn't come and you don't come to the masjid anymore, I'm not talking to you. He still had that worry and concern. When Allah Ta'ala sends down those verses regarding discharging of zakat, Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam sends a couple of Sahaba to this companion, and he says to him, they say to him that, look, this is a command that has come from Allah Ta'ala. Nabi Kareem sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam sent us to you to come and ask you to give your zakat. How many wealthy people were there in Medina Munawwara? We find out from this story at this specific juncture that these people were appointed to go and see. This man said, how many people have you been sent to get their zakat? They said, 2 people. You and someone else. So, okay, fine. He said, all right, what you do is go and see that person, and then on your way back come and see me, I'll see what happens. Happens even in this day and age. You go to see a brother, Assalamualaikum, can you give a donation for the masjid? But you're around in the area, isn't it? Just go see all the other business, come back to me later. You tell the staff, hey, when you see those guys coming, tell me, I want to hire. Tell them I'm not here. And then if you don't have an intelligent staff member, you say, my boss said I must tell you that he said he's not here. Then you're ready caught. So he said, look, go. So they went to another Sahabi who was a Sulami. He was a very pious person. And when he was asked for his zakat, he took out the best of his animals and the best of his stock that he had, and he gave it to the Sahaba. The Sahaba said to him, hold on, and see how the Sahaba were. They said, no, you don't have to give the best, you just need to give moderation. So not your worst, not that dead stock that's sitting in the back of your shop, you just can't sell it now, and now you decide, no, let me give that as charity. There's some items, have you noticed those items in the foyer area, food items? At the food bank here, we really appreciate donations, honestly. But when that stock came in, my wife told me about it, looked at the best before date, manufactured 2012, best before 2015. Which year are we in? Are we in 2015? 14 maybe? We're in 2017 and someone says, no, send it, give it away to someone. I say, do you go to the shop and see something that best before, not the expired, it's not expired. Generally, stuff in cans, tin stuff lasts for a long time.